we are back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. That's where we left off. I can't really remember. In fact, we're gonna go ahead and jump right in just so I can recollect myself. But all I know is that we were representing the thief who was blackmailed by McGilded. Alright. Lord Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night, at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. Not sure about that. Probe, but pick holes? Maybe. I don't like the word probing. Oh, it stands to be continued. Wow, look at that. Alright, so another point. Well, guys, I guess that's just the last time we're playing. Thanks for coming. Nah, let's save. Alright. Save here and continue off. Last time on Ace Attorney. Naruto is fucked. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. Oh yeah, it's oh yeah, we were interviewing these fuckers. And then there's the detective. I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination. Oh, yeah, Governor. Yeah, I did. Mr. Skulkin. God, baby. This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windibanks. Well, it was Bedlam soon as, weren't it? It was, yes, it was. It didn't even have time to pull me dukes on me Lucy lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers. Gore, blame me. On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing of sort. How'd you figure that out? Fucking faces. Hey, holy shit. You will now give a formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your my fucking god, punishment. You've made me stutter and break my fucking jealous, and that, gentleman, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no more, Gov. We hear you. We'll blab. We'll speak. We'll peach. We'll peach? Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, G. Made us both jump, and all that stuff went flying. Let me... it didn't give me a fright. I was thinking the shooter would come out of the door and get us next. We took everything back where we found him, scarpered, straight into him in the black. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? So you admit to the defense's accusation? You did ransack Mr. Windibank's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Ness. That's right. It's more like we tidied up. Yeah. King Christ. Sorry. By their own admissions, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made their made good their mess. The way you say it, we oddly sound like roughs at all. We don't, yes, we don't. Yeah, can't you make us sound a bit more cutthroat? Can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at Windibanks that night. More to their testimony than meets the eye. Sure of it. Alright. Hold it! If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Well, you know, we ain't exactly sweet clean, are we? We ain't, yes, we ain't. If we admit to something like that, people would think we was up to no good. Yeah, well said, Ringo. Me old China. We'd only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble. Well, that's rotten luck. Says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right, yes, right. More like we tried to pick up. Sorry. Hold it! So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much that you knocked all those things off the counter? Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves needed to learn to keep its shirt on. Look, you waked out, alright? Maybe me Big Granny would have woken you up that bang. Big brother here screamed like a bloomin' baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, candlestick, and some skull whatnot. That got tangled into Marinetta, where he knocked over a picture frame, or knocked them scales on the floor. You've really mastered working quietly, then. What a racket! My granny would have been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some. I mean, it was quiet as a mouse. Then all of a sudden, a bam. Excuse me. Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony. You seem to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it only. Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. And how about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the latest statement they gave them told a slightly different story to what they're saying now. Did it? You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have, might have. Just ring a bell, yeah, you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. Can't help but feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? If I discover that the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy! We'll get it right this time. That's it, yeah. It's all coming back to me now. For fuck's sake, then speak! Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs. Right, you are, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun." Hold it! So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously. We did, Gov, we did. Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavered voice before the yell and all. If you don't want to get shot. Give me that gun, bam! Got your thing. Career in acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Could be good. From the other side of that door behind the counter was. In the storeroom, where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windibank. On me granny's life? Of course it was. Yeah, see? On his granny's life. Of course it was. So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windibank in the sound of his voice. Eh? So that would mean what? What, Nash? What? Any ideas? Yes, Counsel, indeed, it would. Oh, no. We didn't know the geezer. How am I supposed to deny it when that bloke in the fish club is giving us the evil eye? If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. Yeah, I mean, Granny's life, it is. On his Granny's life, it must be. It's a good job his Granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor. You make it sound like we were clumsy. Don't forget we tidied up after like good old little boys. Anyway, the way I see it, the bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so we should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. Wait, the bloke who owned the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. What? Hold it! You're saying that Mr. Windibank had a gun in his hand? Oh yeah, bet that was a sight, eh? Them two waving them guns at each other must have got pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, we heard the geezer say, "If you don't want to get shot." Didn't really sound like you meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Windibanks was known to keep a revolver in his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keepings, he readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. That's someone being himself, of course. Good grief! Extraordinarily devotion. Indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person was gonna beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper. I wish he'd squeeze the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun." And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot. It was more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun. Ah! Kind of thing. Yes, a career in acting. Very tragically missed. Then we heard the sound of someone beating the deck. Before everything went dead quiet. And today we done a step-dash job tidying the place up. Didn't have to give me a fright. Hold it! So you didn't try to open the storeroom door then? Not on your life. It went dead quiet after that, it did. Put the wind right up to me. Anyway, the door was locked, weren't it? No way that was opening. Yeah, of course. It was locked from the inside, or so we've been led to believe. It was, Gov, it was, from the inside. Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we? Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps. Don't ring no bells, don't light no lights. We had to cut and run them before we drive anything like that. We still got our teeth in this game, see? But one day, we'll really cut the mustard. Please, cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yeah, unfortunately. Gina was in there, unconscious with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom? That's right, Gov. That's right. Couldn't have even if we'd wanted to. Hold it! Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, yeah, we was a bit hasty there. Yes, we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you turned up. If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand. Good advice, miss. Good advice. What the fuck? Truth be told, mine went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand. Mental note made, miss. Yeah, we liked it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or something, so they clapped the derbies on us like winking. And after you'd been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct? Well, yeah. Well, listen, that proves it done it, eh? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. Hold it! Okay. And why should we believe that? What? Well, cause it's true, ain't it? The base was already empty when we went in. At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Windibank. Correct? You've got him, mister. Down to a T. So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windibanks. Is that really true? I wonder. That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony? What is it, Runo? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired. Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh. But I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something important. It is nothing more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it. Well, feelings can be very logical at times. Sorry? People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in and your brain will quietly analyze it to coming up with a feeling, like you described. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why. That's all. I think you should trust your instincts. Iris. Thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. Alright, so let's look at the court records real quick. What do we got? So we got the pawnbroker's ticket, that's irrelevant. Gina's representation papers, manuscripts, blood samples. So, hold on. Okay, so none of these really matter to us. That doesn't matter to us. McGilded's case notes. This. There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well. Look. Ministry Mole. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice? For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news. It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they're being intercepted by hostile nations. Communications are being intercepted? How would somebody be doing that? That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Runo? No, of course not. I wonder. Perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday. Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Gregsy running from pillar to post at the moment. Okay, but secret government... Okay. Well, it's a good thing we looked at that. Well, anyways, so... Single bullet wound in the upper half of victim's back. No other visible signs of trauma. Instant death from a posterior bullet wound to the heart. The bullet entered the body from the back on a gently rising diagonal trajectory. But wait, hold on. So they claim that they heard the victim yell out, "Give me that gun," and then a bang. If that was the case, he would have been looking at her, but the bullet entered the body from the back. I think that's autopsy report. Hold on, let me look at the other evidence before I present it. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. He fell from here and she's right there, so the trajectory doesn't make sense. And when you look at the pictures, the stuff right here shifts a little bit to the right. I mean, the only thing I have is the fact that the autopsy report states that he got shot from the back, which doesn't make sense because, again, it's like, why would he be having... Yeah, so it's one of these testimony, these early testimony, or these, yeah, statements. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? I guess this is the only one, so
Objection.
Nah, that was wrong. Yeah, okay. That got me there. The only thing I don't like about Ace Attorney is that, like, if you were in there, it's like, wait, hold on, but, like, this doesn't make sense. No, you have to pick a specific part of their statement. And, like, some of the evidence may be kind of similar to each other, so you gotta be very careful. Can I have shut... Okay, so let's go back. Before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun." He was the bloke who owned the place was holding a gun. Oh, wait.
Objection.
There we go, yeah, okay. It was that evidence. You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's right, Gov. You got the picture. Yes, no question. And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not in possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection!
You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel. Yeah, that's right. You're right, Nash, you're right. The old geezer could have been about to turn the tables and go, eh? Hardly likely. No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence. Continue with the cross-examination, counsel. And heed my earlier warning, witnesses. A skulkin's never skulkin'. Oh no, do I have to go back? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Should have fired instead of yelling at the girl. This is Mr. Windibank's gun. The cylinder is completely empty. Mr. Windibank always used to keep this gun to hand on the shelf counter. Yeah, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand. That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in his care safe. This one bullet was fired that night and the poor man lost his life. Is he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe? Nothing really unique about it, so... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That's more visible. Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on.
Objection!
This is difficult. Okay, hold on. Oh my goodness. Hmm. Hey, Shiba. I mean, that's the only thing that's, like, doesn't make sense, so...
Objection!
Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm just gonna have to keep reloading until I figure this out. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. We never had a chance, did we? Yeah, except... You have to pop your 2 prints in here to start with, you see. And then when you look through the eyepieces, you can see the image in 3 dimensions. The important thing to get right is the position of the 2 prints. I don't know who came up with the idea of a stereoscope, but it's really quite fascinating. Ugh. Hmm.
Objection!
No. I want to cheat. God damn it. Ugh. Like, so I need to find an inconsistency. But the thing is, right, I know for a fact that there was a way for them to shoot at the fucking guy from the back. There's a fucking peeping hole. But none of this evidence, other than this picture right here, goes to show it.
Objection!
This is not my We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? I still feel like you did. I just can't fucking prove it for some reason. Give me that gun. Well, how would he have known, though? How would he have known that he was holding a gun?
Objection.
Honestly, alright, here. Caitlyn 3? No, I mean, okay. I guess I could have presented that.
Objection.
Alright. There we go. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's right, Gov. You got the picture. Yes, no question. And yet photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not holding a firearm of any description. Eh? You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection.
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windibank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. God, he's so fucking short. Yeah, that Motula used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun. Ah! Kinda thing.
Hold it!
Stay exactly where you are right there. Eh? If the crime had taken place as you've so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, Counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend. Let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where's the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final point? Yeah, it's fucking this, the autopsy report.
Take that!
That's what I've been trying to want to use, but like, I had to use that picture. According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Yeah. Oh God, man, that guy's even short too. But Scott's honest truth. Yes, he is. When he was shot that night, the shopkeeper had a gun in his hand, and we saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windibank holding a gun? Some man like that might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses. That on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Yes, ah! Order! Order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once. The thing is, it wasn't supposed to, It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witnesses would be the death of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, see, we, Cut it out, Nash. Cut it out. If we blab now, you know what it'll do to us. E? What are they talking about? Let me make your position here very perfectly clear. You will talk, and there is no other option available to you. Ralph, come on, the game's up. But you'll have our guts for garters. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well, we have to. On pain of death, I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Oh yeah, they're sweating fucking bullets. Alright, so we just got inside the Daffy Eve's sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it. But no geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He took me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with giving him. It's all way you happy, I swear. So you guys were the first ones, I mean. So now you're telling us that moment before the victim was killed in the storeroom. You, in fact, encountered him in the main part of the show. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so this is what I think what probably happened was... was that what probably happened was that... Okay, hear me out. So the thief probably took the gun, threatened him, and said, hey, I want to take a look at the back. He lets him in the back, but she's like, all right, here, have your gun back. He gives him back the gun. Now, it sounds weird, but that's what I think happened. She was just trying to scare him and just like want to confirm something. Maybe she gave him like a heartfelt sort of explanation. And then after he's like, all right, you know, I'll let you look inside and see if it's actually there or not. She goes to the back room. But then these two fuckers come in. They tried to get him. And, you know, he threatens him with a gun. They pull a gun on him. He runs to the back room where the girl is. He gets shot in the back and falls down. She sees this, you know, blood spewed all over, and she passes out. The two guys see this and they're like, oh fuck, like we just killed a man. So we gotta do something. So they probably, what they did was, or actually no, they probably used the store owner's gun, took his gun and shot him with it. Yeah. And then they saw the little girl, they saw the teenage girl, they're like, all right, let's stage it. Put the gun in her hand, left it, or I don't know. That's how I see it. Well, yeah, sorry. Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time we ain't got nothing more to hide. Very well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Alright, here we go.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim, the proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windibank. Well, sorry, I mean, that's right. We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. We never thought no one was going to come out of the back room like that. The back room being the pawnbroker's storeroom? Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been. So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well. That doesn't make any sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windibank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have it emerge from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at that time? What? That Maratula? Couldn't tell you. No way, Carver. We had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Windibank shouted those words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door. Oh, did we? But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Well, yeah. Was the victim Mr. Windibank wielding a gun at the time? What ye ever, blimey lummy, a great ugly barrel he had, point straight at me from the piece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windibank with the gun at that time, is that right? He is, right on. Then all of a sudden, he came at us, he did. It was Bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who. You were clearly all going for each other. Yeah, we thought we had it. I mean...
Hold it!
Okay. So that's why, okay. Yes, I know that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony, too. Well, yeah, of course we did. He knocked over a load of books and candlestick and some skull whatnot. That got tangled in some marinara. Went knocked over a picture frame. Went knocked them scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter. Well, Big Bravia went flying over that counter like a gunshot, I could tell you. And the old geezer pinned him. He did that, he did. You ain't been there, the bloke would flat me like a Billman pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There was a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Winterbank. He did everything he could to protect his shop. The homie got him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room.
Hold it!
Were you intending to shoot Mr. Winterbank? No. Never. I was just, you know, looking out for me bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, the man fled into the storeroom where you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shut himself in. There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Winterbank ran away into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a gun. Yeah, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Winterbank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Winterbank's hands again? Okay, hear me out. What if... Hear me out. Actually, nah. Well, we'll just keep going. I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it? This little inconsistency could be significant. Should make a mental note of it. Look, the point is, me and me bruv here. That's right, Nick, that's right. Me and me bruv here. Go back to this.
Hold it!
You say you had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was, from the inside. We know it was, because we tried to open it. But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, Counsel? Oh no. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly have shot Mr. Winterbanks? There could have been. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. Eh? What? What did I look for? From the moment you admit that you'd encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Winterbank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts, so pray. What other possible answer to the question of who shot the man would that be? Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of two conundrums. Two, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right. Indeed. Namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Runo? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the courtroom, show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. He would have been right here, wouldn't he?
Take that!
Defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question. Assuming the culprit fired from the location indicates where was the victim at the time.
Take that! Objection!
What your answers in fact show is that your own position is absurd as those you have indicated in the plan. What are you saying? Oh. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Wait. No, wait, hold on. It might have been because I put the fucking... God damn it. Did I put it in the wrong... Or maybe it's because I put it literally on the fucking door. Hold on. No, I got it. I'll give it a try. Give me another shot, Chief. Ugh.
Take that! Take that!
There we go. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windibank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. If Mr. Windibank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. Oh. It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. Ah! Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of the Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Oh, so he probably got shot while he was running through the door. Poor man. Shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Of course. He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. Even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windibank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? But, what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis. Oh my god, wait, hold up. Okay, here's my theory instead. Mr. Windibank tried to run back through the door. The short guy, who looks like Mario, shot him as he was running. He falls to the ground. Gina, at the same time, closes the door and locks it. But then seeing that Mr. Windibank is dead, she tries to go out there and shoot them, but at the same time, that was when Naruhodo and Sholmes ran through the door. Gina tries to shoot at the fucking, robbers, but misses and accidentally hits Sholmes instead, which explains why her gun went off. That's what I'm predicting what happened. So it was actually these robbers that killed him, and she just accidentally shot Sholmes, and I guess she got so shocked that she went back into the room and locked herself up and fell conscious from the stress.
In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside?
Would have been Gina.
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck.
I am inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel?
Yeah, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it?
Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. Well, yeah, they were... What? They were getting shot. She heard a shot. So obviously, she would close the door to prevent anyone who was trying to shoot them. Those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Well, yeah, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Windibank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at the time, but at some point, Mr. Windibank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom.
Good, yeah? That's right, bruv.
If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windibank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
I see where you're going with this.
Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windibank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it. We ain't guilty, we ain't. You've gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot no one.
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. There is only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, your brothers, had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windibank's murder.
Yeah.
Why are you playing? Where does this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shady as a dense forest. No. No, not the detective. That was amazing, Bruno. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I know. First time ever, and probably the last. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll have to give a verdict of not... An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing.
You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zieks? I myself find this defense's argument most persuasive.
He's going to point out about the gun thing, about how each one shot once. I dare say, such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. What? I don't even know what that fucking word means. The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly, cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. I know, it's the gun bullet. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing?
I say, Lord Van Zieks, might be an idea to explain this bally conjuring trick or whatever it is the troops on the ground,
The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
By George, count bullets?
Oh dear. He noticed then.
Huh?
What's everyone talking about?
Come on, Naruhodo, you know. Counsel.
Yes, sir. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two bullets. Correct. The first that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life, and the second that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene.
Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar.
Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windibank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find...
But if the single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means...
Windibank not shot by the same gun. Stop. Only one bullet. Stop. Exactly. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensible credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. My pride. My Japanese pride.
Order! Order!
Fuck! Not again! Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hollow nectar into the public gallery. Fuck, dude, what's your problem?
Lord Van Zinks, can you refrain from throwing such expensive wine into the gallery?
No, but this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbroker on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possessions one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc.
I'll be taking down whatever it is if Mr. McGilded's down to the yard. Thank you very much.
Hey, no, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine.
I'm sorry, miss. Anything belonging to Mr. McGilda has to be taken in as evidence now.
Yeah, that music box disc. McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windibank, the accused attempted to make off with this article which clearly doesn't belong to her. With none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, by brute force and brazen impudence.
Good gracious.
Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on the account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril.
I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc. Oh God, say that 10 times. This music box disc into evidence, counsel. As a grim testament to the defendant's character.
What was that?
Lord Van Zinks,
Inspector Gregson? What? Yes, Inspector.
We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service and, I think it was agreed that that disc wouldn't be used as evidence.
What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he's said anything to Van Zieks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting.
But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs are insistent.
Inspector, I am the prosecutor and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
Indeed. Bailiff?
The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. Okay, but that's not a motive. The disc was taken after, or no, it was taken before the incident happened. It wouldn't be stuck to so that's not her motive. She just wanted to see what if. I swear to God, Van Zieks, there's nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once for all 5 minutes. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo.
My lord! Wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer's bally obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it.
Oh no.
Very well. The court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
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 Again? Oh god.
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. That's my line. I wrote that for Mr. Hurley. Ugh. How dare he use it against us? Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than when we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. That's beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day.
Well, damn, he didn't even have to ask.
Mr. Foreman, are you and the other juries ready? Garradeb Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
Alright. Oh my goodness. Alright. I'm actually going to end it right here. Alright, I think this is a good stopping point. So basically in the next stream, we're going to have to somehow convince around 4 out of these 6 juries on why their decision is terrible. Or they have no reason to put her on guilty, okay? That's all we're going to try to prove. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you later. Bye-bye.